What's going on, everybody? In this video today here, I wanted to go over some stocks that have not hit their lows, and it's been almost 6 months now since they've been at that point. But you wouldn't believe it with how bearish everybody is, with just how bad sentiment is. But in this video, we're basically just going to look at some charts. I'm going to show you 5 small caps that could very well have already bottomed out and could potentially be in an accumulation phase. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like these videos. I will be trying to post more often. I've just been working on moving lately, boxing up a bunch of stuff, tying up loose ends, all that good stuff. So sorry I haven't been posting as much. But without any further wait, let's look at these stocks. Now, looking at the first one here, it's going to be ChargePoint or chpt stock. And of all the stocks I talk about in this video, this is one that has not yet reported earnings. But if you're curious about earnings for any of these other stocks I'm about to talk about, you can actually look into my channel and I uploaded cleaned edited versions of their earnings. So you can use them for reference. But looking at ChargePoint, their earnings is actually expected in the beginning of December, and their revenue expectation is 132 million, which in my opinion is fantastic. Continued revenue growth is what we're going to see. Now, I'm curious if they can tighten up their losses. But looking at the chart, you'll see that in the beginning of May, ChargePoint went all the way to the 850 area, and since then ran up to nearly $20 before cooling off. Now we're sitting at almost $13. I personally think right now where ChargePoint is at, it's a fantastic time to add it, and ChargePoint remains one of my high conviction stocks. They've got a great executive team, with many of them being there since the beginning of this company. They've got consistent, and I mean consistent, revenue growth. Only a few quarters ago they were in the $50 million area, and now they're pushing over $100 million quarters, and I'm very excited for the future of this one. We all know EVs are going to continue to get bigger and bigger in the future. ChargePoint is a market leader. They're expanding into Europe, and I do remain long-term convicted in this. Next up is going to be Senseonics or SENS stock, and there's another one that hasn't hit its bottom again. And for a quick disclaimer, can these companies come back down and hit their bottoms, break them, and come to lower lows? Of course they can. The Fed's still raising rates, the economy doesn't look good, inflation's still high. However, saying that, while they're anywhere near these lows, I think they're extremely great buys even right now. I personally think Senseonics right around here is a great time to add to it. You could always wait until momentum changes and it becomes a bit more bullish. Right now it seems to be kind of in an accumulation phase, but of course we've got the economy looming over it, meaning some headwinds. But remember, when we get out of a recession, what performs the best? That's going to be small caps. And you know, you could argue that they hit the bottom or that they didn't hit the bottom yet, but either way, at these prices, I think they're great to add to. And next up is going to be bionano genomics or Bngo stock, Bngo. And there's another one that hit its low in May. Has not since came anywhere near there. It's almost tripled up since then. Still remains in the $2 area. It has been on this little short-term uptrend since earnings. Earnings did come out pretty good. They beat revenue, they beat EPS, they had a record-breaking quarter in terms of revenue, and it's more of what we want to see. I personally think that adoption for the OGM or optical genome mapping device will continue to accelerate. It's crazy to think that, 6 months has passed since this has hit its lowest level, and I remain confident in Bngo. Now, one thing you could look for if you want to be patient is look for a break of this resistance here. We could have a short-term little rally on a break of this resistance. We can approach it towards the end of December, beginning of January, so it might be a while. But I highly recommend you keep an eye on Bngo. It's been months and months. It could very well have already hit its floor. And next up, looking at workhorse or Wkhs, we've got more of the same. This hasn't broken its low, and since it hit its low of about $2, it ran up all the way to almost $4.50 before pulling back, and now it's sitting at $2.50. Earnings, in my opinion, came out pretty good, but we did take a step forwards with the C1000s. They did fix the front suspension, but it turns out now they have issues with the rear suspension. So they are still getting through the hurdles of the C1000 before moving on to their other chassis designs. I remain confident and patient with Workhorse. I do believe if anyone's going to make this company big, it's going to be that CEO. He has experience turning companies around. He is a no-nonsense guy, you can tell. And so far, they've been doing a great job when you consider the hands they were dealt with this company. But that's Workhorse, and let's look at one more. This is going to be a very, very slept on stock, and no one really looks at this one, but I can't recommend enough that you check it out. And that's going to be Indi stock, or INDI, Indi Semiconductors. Now, they come in and reported earnings. They beat revenue. They beat EPS. They actually mentioned that they expect profitability towards the middle of next year, which is fantastic. They continue to exceed expectations in terms of revenue, continue to just quarter over quarter grow revenue. They continue to get more clients. They supply chips to the likes of Rivian, to the likes of Neo. I mean, guys, this company is not one to sleep on. They have an executive team that is the one to beat. These executives have been in the likes of Skyworks. These executives have experience with Broadcom, Cirrus Logic. The list goes on. All these execs are highly experienced, and a lot of these execs have a lot of time working together, which means they're a well-oiled machine. Now watch out for Indi, because right now it is potentially going to break its ascending support level, but there's another one that hasn't broken its lows, and I remain a confident buyer in this one. Now, we just got some news today that caused this to drop 14%, and it has to do with a convertible offering dated at an expiration of 2027. And then an article also came out putting their earnings kind of in a negative light, which in my opinion is wrong. I was happy with their earnings. I think things are great. And while Wall Street might not like stocks like this right now because they're not making a profit, because there's a little bit of uncertainty there, because there is a little bit of risk, and anything that has risk, no one wants to touch right now. However, I remain extremely confident in Indi, and I believe one day that this company will easily be a $10 billion market cap, which means 10x from here. But that's it for you guys for now. Just wanted to give you a quick update on some stocks that I'm really keeping an eye on. These have hit their lows months and months ago. Not saying that they won't do it again, they won't potentially come to these lows again, but it's very interesting that it's been months and months and the sentiment's still so negative, and yet these stocks are slowly rising. Something to think about. But that's it for now, guys. I might put some out in a little bit here. I've still got a lot of packing to do, but thanks as always. I appreciate you, and take it easy.